1946 was a terrifying year in the Texarkana area of Texas and Arkansas. Over a 10-week period, there were 5 brutal attacks made by a person dubbed the Phantom Killer in a spree we like to call the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. Because these cases were never officially solved, they have joined the ranks of other legendary murder mysteries. Everything began on February 22nd when 25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and 19-year-old Mary Jean LeRae decided to park at the local Lover's Lane after going to a movie. It was at this point when a person wearing a white hood with eye holes cut out of it approached, shining a flashlight inside the car. The masked individual then ordered Jimmy to take his pants off, then proceeded to beat him, resulting in a coma. The man then caught up to Mary as she was trying to escape, then he proceeded to beat her and assault her with the barrel of his gun. The second attack occurred about a month after the first one. Again, the victims were a couple parked at the local Lover's Lane, but this time the Phantom Killer didn't leave anyone alive. Richard Griffin, 29, and Polly-Ann Moore, 17, which is a questionable age difference in my opinion, were discovered the following morning. They both had been shot several times in the back of the head. Then in April, 16-year-old Paul Martin and 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker were found murdered after a high school dance, and they too were shot to death. After 2 people were assaulted and 4 murdered, there still weren't any suspects, but the police strongly believed that a single killer had been behind all of the attacks. As you can imagine, everybody in the community was on high alert, and eventually the Texas Rangers and the FBI were brought in to help, but still the violence continued. Then in May, Virgil and Katie Starks were shot in their home. Virgil ended up dying of his injuries, but Katie was able to make it all the way to her neighbors despite being shot in the face twice. In June of 1946, Yulee Swinney was arrested for another crime, stealing cars. However, after hearing some pretty incriminating stories from his wife, he quickly became a suspect. But unfortunately, she wasn't able to testify against her husband, and there wasn't enough evidence to convict him of any of the murders. And that's where it ends, folks. But a few years ago, the FBI released 1,100 pages of archival documents relating to this case, and those documents include photographs, maps, news clippings, correspondence between the police and the FBI, fingerprints, handprints, suspects, all ranging between 1946 and 1949. So maybe with all the wonders of DNA, we'll eventually be able to find out who the Phantom Killer was.